If you're new here, hi. I've done this before. The last 3 OC reveals I did have done exceptionally well, so here I am doing another. This time, I will be revealing the entire Mario Legends cast before the production drops. In this video, I will also be talking about the map, power-ups, battle mechanics, resources, and Nintendo inclusions. Since the majority of the characters who will be revealed today are side characters, I decided to divide them all into groups and go over every character in each group in one go. This is for time's sake and also because there isn't as much to say about side characters as there is to say about main characters. Also, there are some characters that I have shown off previously who would like to join me for today's reveal. How about that? So, before we begin with the reveal, there are probably a bunch of things I should talk about before mentioning all of the groups. So first, let's talk about some important details about the map, the fictional country of Phinleya. I'm positive that it can be easily assumed what the Mushroom Kingdom, Sarasa Land, Hyrule, and Bowser's Kingdom are like, but the majority of the towns and cities are currently unheard of. I will be going over every city or town within or around it in alphabetical order and mention what stands out about each of them. So are you ready to learn a lot about Mario Legends? Alright, here we go.
Alphabetical order?
Huh?
Oh, are you not going from left to right?
Nah, it's too complicated.
Okay, so not Thedos first?
Heck no.
Alright.
Let's just go ahead and begin. First is Alas Vio. This island has a nice beach town and a massive inn. Well, it used to until Nightmare Mario and Twilight Peach showed up because, as I've said earlier, there was an island where the people were bound to a vow to fire giants that became quite sinister, and that would be this island here. But after the events of Mario Legends and Nightmare Mario, everyone's fine. Ababyros is famed for being the first founded city in Phinleya, and that's pretty much why it has Aba as a prefix. People who live there often have pretty big egos for that reason, and their academy's mascot is the Cyclops because a Cyclops founded the place in ancient times. Again, Phinleya was influenced by Greece and Egypt long ago. Aphrodita, Thebes, and Marinese are all Greek regions around the same area, and all of them are kinda the same, but Thebes has a famous theater, Marinese is a pirate region, and Aphrodita is the popular place to visit on special occasions. Ayoha is an Egyptian region that only partakes in trade with Sarasa Land. Why? Well, people from the other towns are probably frightened by them because they continue old traditions from their greatest ancestor who was trapped in time, which I'll go over in a bit. Barracus is famous for its massive cornfield and is a great attraction for people who are interested in agriculture. Brookalite is another island that is famous primarily because that's where Mario and Luigi come from, and it also has a kingdom alongside the city. Brooks is unique because most of its residents are Inklings or Octolings, which clearly contains a bit of Splatoon references. However, these people are fine when in contact with water. Dalafolis is full of perhaps the best gamers in all of Phinleya, and its academy's mascot probably says enough about that. Dorilio is strange because older folks say it used to be a kingdom because there was a young princess there who was kind of only rumored, and the academy's mascot is the Trojans. Fiolio is the biggest hotspot for people who are interested in magic, since the Academy's mascot is a wizard. Next is Fiarlo, which is kinda creepy, mainly because it includes a haunted house with quite a disturbing backstory, and the Academy's mascot is a phantom. It is home to this group called Team Glitch, though. Florial is similar to Barracus, but it is more known for its flowers, particularly the lotus flower. Gelato is obviously a beach, and it is similar to the one in Super Mario Sunshine, as is Serena. It is also home to the Solori Pirates, which I will go over along with the OCs. Helena is also located in Greece, and it is more notable than the other Greek cities I mentioned because it is the home to a few tribes of people, the most famous being Garolet. Holio has a very popular harbor and houses a water park, and the Academy's mascot is a lion. Inferna is a popular place for night festivals and celebrations involving light shows, and the Academy's mascot is a constellation. Langer is kinda similar to Barracus and Floreal as regards to agriculture, except the Academy's mascot is a satyr, which might imply that there are plentiful farms with goats, cows, pigs, etc. Mariel Gibson has probably the most famous hotel suites due to being next to Lake Mauricula's, which appears to be one of the highest rated tourist attractions. Mariel also has high-rated attractions, including a historical museum and the Athene Temple, which houses Phinleya's best-known beliefs, and Mariel is also the capital of Phinleya. Meridian is an odd one because it was the first town to start building outposts symbolizing Nightmare Mario's rebellion against his homeland's authorities. The Academy's mascot is also a cyclone. Michel Rose is a lesser-known town, but it was more famous when chariot racing was common, and so the Academy's mascot is a gladiator. Madiaroa is on the map, but isn't brought up until later in the series, and I probably should save it for another time because not only will it cover info for a later Mario Legends production while I'm only discussing the first one, but it is also quite disturbing. Nui is an island that is pretty much a beach itself, unlike Brookalites or Alas Vio, which have grassy terrains upon them. This island also carries a legend about a mystical unnamed island to Phinleya's east. Olydia Cresti translates to Holiday Crest in English. Its Academy's mascot is a dragon, and a lot of people moved there from Thedos during the events of Mario Legends. Pinna is one of the best towns you could go to for a vacation. It is right next to Lake Islenna, which is a very popular attraction for people who are interested in cruises. Cyrenia is almost the exact same as Serena, but without being a beach. Both towns are known in legend as areas where the mythical sirens would gather. Thedos is the home of the Ninten, and most of Mario Legends will take place here compared to every other location. That is because it is also the home of Daranaka Academy and Temple. This is the school that enforced bullcrap rules for their religion, and so the Ninten only stayed there for 6 months. Why is that? I'll just go over it because a lot of characters who I will be revealing in this video are dedicated to this place. Most of them left after the end of Mario Legends, but I'm mainly talking about during the events, not after them. It is also home to Camp Alfino, which I will also be going over while revealing characters. If the people of Abba Byros don't have the biggest egos, then Valord most likely does. The Academy's mascot is an emperor, and most people there are big jerks. But they're not evil. They're just narcissists. Last but not least is Vienia, which includes Camp Yogana and has a very popular attraction for people to bring their pets. Then there are 6 sacred places that don't really have a lot of residents, if any, that being Floria, Faron, Lanchi, Lanayru, Toiri, and Eldon. These 6 places are where the Triforce is set to split up in case of emergencies in Hyrule. Floria gets kindness, Faron gets courage, Lanchi gets loyalty, Lanayru gets wisdom, Toiri gets truth, and Eldon gets power. Faron, Lanayru, and Eldon are here for obvious reasons. Floria is named after the lake in Skyward Sword, and Lanchi and Toiri are completely original. All of Phinleya, however, also has its own alphabet and language. There are a total of 36 letters in this alphabet. Here's the alphabet, and I may say some words, but we'll go over this a lot more elsewhere. I may just go over the basics here. Aya means hello, Tio means bye, some also say Tio Tio or bye bye, Yay means yes, and Noi means no.
Will you also discuss the Blood Means regions here?
Not yet. You can do it if you'd like.
Okay, just let me know when you're ready.
When I say Phinleya was influenced by both Greece and Egypt, that doesn't just mean belief systems, but it also means resources. There tends to be a lot of overlap, but Phinleya also has its own resources with a few things containing resources from other countries. First, I want to mention the currency being coins because this is obviously a Mario parody, but they also tend to use rupees because of Hyrule. What stands out is how to determine the worth for each. Since the worth of rupees varies depending on color, the same is with coins, and that is something that has occurred in Mario games before. The colors for coins are as follows: brass, red, blue, purple, green, silver, and gold. For rupees, I have selected green, blue, yellow, indigo, red, orange, purple, pink, cyan, white, silver, and gold. Also, rupers exist. Don't ask me why. Another thing I should bring up is signature dishes. There is a massive breakfast, lunch, and dinner menu with different details in Phinleya, but for time's sake, I'm only gonna go over what stands out. First is the metherte, which is a common lunch that is kind of similar to a burrito, but basically what this is meat and veggies wrapped in dough, but they stick out at the top. Next is a common dinner choice called the dater buffet, which is the name Phinleyans give to meat plates with vegetables of their choice with the option to top it with gravy. Then I want to go over 3 unique dessert options. First is the rosaladore, which is literally a rolled up treat with various flavors. The peekaboo is a narrow cake with filling and topping, also with various flavors. Third is the glazita, which is a narrow treat topped with any flavor and fully glazed with honey. This was an idea from Greece because Greeks often sweeten their treats with honey instead of sugar. Some flavors and resources were added as a Mario reference for obvious reasons, including the Super Shroom and Starbit flavors. Coop leaves are also used as a flavor, but also a vegetable if not being used for drinks similar to tea. Nectar Rosemary is also a new one and is very popular in Sarasaland, and I wanted to bring more attention to Daisy's people since we haven't really gotten that since Super Mario Land. That brings us to what Phinleya is possibly the most known for, and that is their signature drink called the Dionia. Dionias have perhaps the most flavors, and what makes them unique from other drinks is the addition of the diaf flower. So real quick, I will explain how Dionias are made. The first step after planting the seeds and harvesting the flowers is to separate the bud from the stem, and then you shake the golden flakes off the stem's leaves into a bowl to increase the sweetness. This plant is ripe when the petals are gold. Open the bud by tapping it on the top and take out the seeds to be replanted, and there should be 3 each. Then you pluck each petal one by one and add them into the golden flakes, but don't add the bottom part. Phinleyans typically don't throw out the leftover parts, but use them as fertilizer instead. Then you mix everything and create a liquid from it, and then remove the leftover waste by using a filter. The final product should be a transparent golden liquid called the diaf sweetener, which makes Dionias exotic. Next, you choose a glass, fill it with sweetener, and add any flavor of your choice, mix it all up, decorate the brim of the glass, add a straw, and the Dionia is complete. There is also an important note in Phinleya not to add any more diaf than all flavors combined because it will not only ruin the flavor, but it is especially not good for people with diabetes and other sugar-related problems. I think it would be cool to try all of this Phinleyan stuff in real life, and while diaf may not be real, I could just do knockoff Dionias with just the flavors. You know, just a little Phinleyan cuisine. Wouldn't that be pretty cool? I may do some videos on it sometime after Mario Legends comes out. The next resource I want to mention is the power-ups. These can be found either in the overworld or around the battlefields, and they can be collected and used to cause different effects. Most of these are from the Super Mario Galaxy games, some of which have altered names, and some are completely new. These can be very helpful because they either increase stats, cure status effects, or are just there as a boost in battle. First, let's go over the power-ups that increase stats. First is the Super Mushroom, which gives 20 HP to whoever uses it, and cooking it doubles the effect. Life Shrooms give units more HP than they typically have, but only temporarily. The 1-Up Mushroom can revive fallen units, or cooking it will fully restore HP for the entire party. The Blimp Fruit increases movement by 1. The Boo Shroom increases evasion and defense. The Dash Pepper increases speed. The Mega Shroom increases attack and critical rate and temporarily makes the unit big, while the Mini Shroom increases agility and speed and temporarily makes the unit small. The Propeller Shroom prevents fall damage when the unit is launched. The Spring Shroom increases jump and thankfully isn't atrociously obnoxious like in the Galaxy games. The steel shroom increases accuracy. Lastly, the question mark mushroom increases a random stat. Next is status effects. Besides stat boosts and drops, the other status conditions include the following. Burns can force players to change position because anyone who touches fire in Mario games runs around, and deals damage each turn before it is cured. Ice, sleep, and stone immobilize units. Paralysis prevents units from attacking. Poison has the same damage effect as burns but deal more damage. Dizziness reverses controls, and ink causes every attack to miss. So which power-ups cure these? The Bee Shroom cures poison, the Cloud Flower clears stat drops, the Electro Shroom cures paralysis, the Fire Flower cures ice and also grants cold resistance and firepower, the Ice Flower cures burns and also grants heat resistance and ice power, the Rock Shroom cures stone and also boosts attack and defense, the Soundbox cures drowsiness, the Tanuki Leaf cures dizziness, and the Water Flower cures ink. Then we have power-ups that just kinda do miscellaneous things. The Bulbberry lights up dark places. There are 3 shells that do different things. Green shells can hit several enemies in a straight line. Red shells only hit one enemy but never misses. Blue shells behave like green shells but move in a curve instead of a line. Then we have the Rainbow Star, which makes a unit invulnerable for 3 turns. And it is also the rarest power-up. All of the other power-ups I just mentioned are also found on the battlefield, but can only be collected instead of being used immediately. They can also be found in question mark blocks anywhere. Okay, so you're probably like, what kind of battle system is this with status conditions and turns? I had intended for this to be a strategy RPG, and so hopefully I can find an easy way to animate this because I want Mario Legends to behave like a game, including a title screen, file selection, loading screen, dialogue text boxes, and a battle system, so it's like I'm also interacting with the production. Typically there will be 2 teams battling it out in portions of this, including boss battles, and sometimes there will be a second enemy team and or an ally team. When I did those shorts about the Mario Legends characters' movesets, this is what I was talking about. Each playable unit has a total of 3 attacking moves by the end of Mario Legends, each also having a passive ability and a special attack called a deity attack. Units can also use items or take cover when close to terrain before or after moving, and sometimes different units can take a turn before one finishes everything they can do for that turn. Kinda like the Mario and Rabbids games, but the Heroes Party can have way more than 3 participants. There are 22 total units, not including ally teams. The enemy team obviously has way more party members, but if there's a second enemy team, there may not be as many because both enemy teams can attack each other. Another feature I included in this is that 2 characters can pair up under the condition of chemistry. Characters with good chemistry have better speed, attack power, defense, accuracy, and can move twice. But characters with bad chemistry have low accuracy, and nothing else is affected. Team chemistry is determined by 3 things. In order to have good chemistry, the pair must have the same Triforce element, they must share the same bloodline, or they must be really close friends for several years. Some of the OCs I'm about to reveal can be allies in battle, and so their Triforce element will be shown in the corner that indicates their available chemistry if any players were to pair up with them. If there isn't a Triforce element in any of the corners, the character either doesn't engage in battle or is an enemy.
Question, how will they know who is an enemy and who isn't?
I'll say so.
Oh.
Bruh, you signed up to do this. You should know.
Yeah, and you're also the one doing all of the editing and stuff.
Shut up. Now it's time to reveal all of the OCs. Like I said, there are so many characters that I put them all into groups, and I will go over every character in each group in one go. If you want to pause to see the art, no one's stopping you. Those groups are as follows: Nintendo characters, the main cast, enemies and bosses, family members, Camp Alfino campers and counselors, Brookalites, Athene temple attendees, Gelatans, neighbors, animals, Museum of Ancient Phinleya, Team Glitch, Mushroom Kingdom, Lake Islenna Cruise, Solori Pirates, Daranaka students, Daranaka professors, Daranaka servants, and the most notable characters from Nightmare Mario. This is essentially the order of debut with a few exceptions. I should also mention that before the events of Mario Legends, there was a time of immigration from countries such as Egypt, Greece, Japan, and Spain to Phinleya, and there will be people in some of these groups who are originally from said countries. The first group is the Nintendo characters, none of which having any design changes, so I'm gonna show some official arts of them. And they are Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, Rosalina, Yoshi, Toad, Toadette, Toadsworth, Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, Pauline, Wario, Waluigi, Bowser, Bowser Jr., the Koopalings, and Rosalina's Luma. As I've said before, Link and Zelda are Nintendo OCs, but I made my own variants of them to be included in Mario Legends, making it a partial Zelda crossover like Mario Kart. I've also said that the Triforce has doubled in Mario Legends, therefore having 6 parts: kindness, courage, loyalty, wisdom, truth, and power. If you know Zelda lore, you should know that there are already 3 goddesses who made the Triforce, that being Faror, Nehru, and Din. So here, there are 6. Before I mention them though, I'll give a recap on all of the OCs who have been revealed so far, as well as which Nintendo OCs are a part of the main cast. Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, and Rosalina will all be seen in pretty much every chapter, though Link, Zelda, and Yoshi may not have as many cameos, but will end up on the Nintendo's roster. Since Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, and Rosalina were chosen to have a part of the Triforce, Kenza was added to be the 6th. But the Nintendo includes the following: Annalise, that's me, Milenon, Enaro, Jociphena, Azalea, Cornen, Anilamis, Cassiala, Aaron, and Nuta. Then we have the 6 fire giants of the Fear Resistance, although you will not hear them being referred to as that anywhere but Nightmare Mario's production as of right now. And that includes Nightmare Mario, Midnight Luigi, Twilight Peach, Sunset Daisy, Rosaluna, and Moonlight Kenza. Now with that out of the way, let's add some new characters, shall we? The first addition to the main cast are 2 that I actually revealed early, that being in the iPad unboxing video. Those 2 are Tana and Shano, who are the parents of these 4. And yeah, their introduction embarrassed the crap out of me. What do you... Oh, hi everybody!
You've got to be frickin' kidding me.
Hi, I'm Tana. I am the mother of Annalise, Milenon, Enaro, and Jociphena.
Oh my gosh, Mom!
Well then, Shano! They're letting us be revealed early!
Oh, come on! Dad, too?
Yes, Tana?
Bruh! Annalise is doing a video with all of her friends.
Is she now? Well, hello there.
We'll just move past it. On that note, they do join the party near the middle of Mario Legends and receive weapons of their own, but under a very sinister circumstance. In Chapter 1, Tana and Shano, mostly Tana, sorry to throw you under the bus here, you just got revealed, forced their 4 children into Daranaka Academy for a few reasons. First of all, it was local. Second of all, they were previously homeschooled and that caused too much stress on Tana. Third of all, she felt like her spiritual beliefs needed some work, and so she chose those of Daranaka, and regretted it after 6 months. Long story short, those people betrayed the Nintendo and tried to kill everyone, so they had to get into a fight and get the heck out of there. Then that's when Tana and Shano joined the party. Both of their primary elements of the Triforce is wisdom. The last of the main cast are the 6 goddesses of the Triforce. You already know Faror, Nehru, and Din, right? Well, here are the 3 new ones: Flora, Anshi, and Eri. These 6 goddesses often accompany those who have their part of the Triforce, but there is one circumstance where that may not happen. When nobody has a part of the Triforce, it is expected to be united in Hyrule. If not, then it splits into the 6 locations I went over not too long ago, waiting for those who bear its elements to retrieve them. When that happens, especially if this is due to an attack on Hyrule, in which there was, the goddesses go with them and don't have physical forms until their Triforce is retrieved. Of course, the Nintendo does so with easy access to those locations through warp panels in the Temple of Phinleya that are linked to those areas. After getting the Triforce, Zelda entrusts it to Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, Rosalina, and Kenza, and the 6 goddesses join the party. They can be very helpful in battle and in peculiar situations elsewhere, and the special attacks, deity attacks, got that name because they are assisted by the goddesses. They don't always show themselves though, especially at Daranaka Academy during the first half of Mario Legends, and so they hide themselves away with their part of the Triforce, which is sealed upon the back of their chosen one's right hands. Din goes with Mario, of course, Ferror goes with Luigi, Nehru goes with Rosalina, Flora goes with Peach, Aerie goes with Daisy, and Anchi goes with Kenza. That's the full main cast for you, aside from Bowser, who is mentioned quite a lot and does make several appearances. So for the next section, that being the enemies and bosses, I'm gonna pass it off to Mario and let some characters participate in this reveal.
Thanks, Annalise. Do you have a roster for who you want to do the reveal?
I have the list.
Okie dokie. So, the most known enemies here are obviously Bowser's minions, including himself, Bowser Jr., and the Koopalings. Goombas, Koopas, and Shy Guys are all examples of this, as you know. I don't think I have to go over every single enemy since there are so many because none of them are new. Well, there may be some exceptions, but we are on a schedule here. However, there may be some unique ways to defeat these enemies in battle as they may have certain weaknesses. I won't spoil them because they will be mentioned all throughout Mario Legends, but I'm sure you can probably guess some. The terrain they appear in was also brought up a while back, such as Cheep Cheeps where there is water, Piranha Plats where there is grass, Boos where there is darkness, and Pokies where there is sand. What I want to talk more about is the bosses because you may be surprised to see them here, some of which haven't appeared in any Mario game since forever. First, let's mention some mini-bosses who appear halfway through chapters. I will not say which one specifically. Wiggler, Chain Chomp, Cheep Chomp, Boom Boom, Pom Pom, and the 3 commanders Private Goop, Corporal Pearblock, and Sergeant Guy. Where do you think these guys came from? Now, the actual bosses. King Boo, King Goomba, Mr. Blizzard, PD Piranha, Gooper Blooper, and King Bob-omb. There are 25 chapters total, and I know that this is less than 25, so that only means that there are bosses who are either Bowser himself or not a part of his army. I believe that they will all be revealed along with several original characters. So, was that it for this section?
Yeah, I believe so. Thanks, Mario. Okay, so now every character who will be revealed from this point on will be original. So let's pass it off to Milenon for the next group.
Thank you. Alright, hi everyone. So I'm gonna reveal some more of our family members specifically. This includes our grandparents and cousins. Is there anything else? No? Alright. So first I'll just mention my dad's mom, Shadow's mom, Tony Luisa. She showed up to a family reunion we had before we met Nightmare Mario for the first time, but nobody else on Dad's side of the family was there but her. All of the others are on Mom's side of the family. What order do I want to do this in?
Just go from top to bottom.
Top to bottom?
Start with my mom and dad.
Okay. So first is Mom's mom and dad, whom Annalise, Enaro, Jociphena, and I refer to as Nana and Papa. And their names are Vera and Jacko. They're honestly the best grandparents I could ever ask for. No offense, Tony. They actually work at the Athene temple, and now we go there all the time. We used to not since we were stuck dealing with Daranaka Temple, but we'll talk about that when we get to those guys. Vera ran a fundraiser after the temple was attacked one day, but Jacko built a cart for us to take around Phinleya so that we wouldn't have to rent a caravan. Yoshi volunteered to pull it everywhere, and everyone fits in it. So now let's go down the line because Mom has a brother, so that makes him our uncle, and that is Jonas. His wife's name is Aria, and they have 3 children, Joello, Alicia, and Vone. Joello and Alicia are actually older than Annalise, and Vone is around the same age as Enaro. These are some pretty nice guys, but a certain event that occurred one day after the reunion made them timid. I mean, the entire village was damaged. They lived in the same village, and so they all moved to different towns later. The same thing happened with this other family who is technically not fully related to Mom, but are on Jacko's side of the family. This includes our aunt and uncle, Mary and Davis, and their 2 children, Katie and Zoe. They're also nice, but I think that the incident kinda had to do with Katie specifically because of what she told Annalise about Mario.
I've got a bone to pick with Katie. She's the one who said Mario and Nightmare Mario were the same person.
She said what? I didn't know about this.
She put the blame on Mario for everything you did during that time.
That girl is an idiot.
Dang. But you're right, she did carry out said rumor among her family, especially her younger brother Zoe.
Yeah, sure. So, Katie, if you're watching this video, this is your fault for provoking Nightmare Mario.
Get out.
Anyway, that's it from this group. I'm done.
Okay, so the next group is from Camp Alfino. So who is our spokesperson?
That would be me.
Alright.
Hey guys, so Annalise mentioned 2 camps in Phinleya, Camp Alfino and Camp Yogana. But Camp Alfino is more well known because it is specifically for people with special needs, who are often called exceptional in Phinleya. Those are the campers, and the counselors are volunteers who support them and want to help them bring out their full potential. The camp's leader is Lani, and the activity director is Martris. These 2 essentially run the whole place. They also created 8 different groups that were inspired by popular people from Egypt. Sayenetet, Solet, Kocheta, Shinet, Chisane, Chiena, Kariknet, and Nadavet. Who do you want me to go over first? Campers or counselors?
I don't care, you decide.
Okay, I'll do counselors first. There are a lot, but I'll only name the most popular. Pedo is the most famous counselor, behind him being Trayvon, followed by Axel. Then we have Adelina, Issa, and Cher, who are the most popular girls, at least now. Then all the others are Kari, Hinala, Amara, Juna, Garci, Jara, Corren, and Bernia. So let's mention the most notable campers and what makes them exceptional. Some of these are physical, such as Envala, who uses walking sticks, Phinleya and Graiania, who use wheelchairs, Moran, who wears padding for boots, Beta, who is blind, Avani, who doesn't talk a lot due to a vocal issue, and Taya, who has a difficult time changing her facial expressions. Other exceptionals are on a more mental end, but I'll mention their preferences, if any. Lena has an intense fear of heights, but loves to dance, and Lily often has a lot of crushes on guys in other groups. Those campers are all in the same group, but there are still some others who should be mentioned. Kamaya and Desiria are possibly the most popular campers, respectively. Sacramenta is pretty much the same as Lily. Nutella and Ash were the first to use wheelchairs at camp, and Asila likes to listen to music while playing sports. Camp Alfino is a great place. I had a lot of fun since we were all called there one time to solve an issue, and that's all I have to say.
Okay, next.
Hello.
Hi.
Wait, what?
Sorry, that was awkward. Go ahead, Luigi.
Okay, so our next group includes people from mine and Maria's homeland, Brookalite. We call them the Brookalites. It sounds like Brooklyn, doesn't it?
Shut up. Whatever.
Pauline, Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, and Yoshi are featured in this group because at one point they met us in Maril when they traveled from Brookalite. I'm not sure if they were there when we took the Nintendo to meet our parents Nia and Mark. I'll take the blame for this because we never told them that we would be leaving with the Nintendo, and so they freaked out about it after we got back. Well, we made up for it after showing them the goddesses. Yeah, but there are also 3 more characters in this group. You know how Annalise said Brookalites has a kingdom? Yeah, these people are from there. First is Brooke, the princess, and then there are her younger sisters Berta and Amber, who are twins. We had also offered to help them due to an attack on the castle, since they were the only living residents, and it happened while we were in the town. Could these attacks have been connected somehow?
No.
Hush.
I mean, it's a good thing the goddesses called us to Brookalite when they did. It's the same with all the other places we went to during our 2-year journey with them.
Real quick, I'm just gonna say that the spokespeople for these are in no particular order. They just sort of signed up for each group in this. That being said, our next spokesperson is Nuta. Okay, like Luigi said, the goddesses did call us to Brookalite, and then the next month we were called to the Athene temple because there was also some suspicious behavior there. It didn't blow up though, so that's good. Anyway, aside from Vera and Jacko, I want to mention some more notable characters who work or volunteer at the temple. This temple does an annual summer event dedicated to different deities influenced by Greece or Egypt. But whenever we were called there, it actually took place twice. The second time being in September because the first one was dedicated to the fake goddess worshipped at Daranaka and everybody hated it. So the second time it was dedicated to the Triforce goddesses because they were there in person. There are these two ladies who lead the musical group in said event. Davina is the director and Christina is her assistant. Davina's daughter, Ali, was a counselor of the group we supervised while we were there. There are so many people who attend this event that everyone was split into 15 groups. I'm dead serious. Anyway, there are 3 more volunteers from our group that I wanted to bring up. Maya, Alila Viva, and Margaretita. They are very young volunteers, but they have been doing this for quite some time. Also, I signed up for this slot because you know how the story about Bowser's temple attack was mentioned and how I tried to warn everyone but they ignored me? Yeah, that happened at the Athene temple. But anyway, that's it. Speaking of Athene temple, where's Nario? He is unable to be here with us today because he is quite busy right now.
Yeah, that's probably why neither Link nor Zelda are here. But Yoshi, I don't know.
I heard that the Kid Icarus characters aren't here because they didn't want to intervene on our business right now. They weren't there during these events.
Hold on, busy doing what?
None of your business. Fair.
Why not? We go there anyway.
Enaro, shut up.
Fine.
Okay, who's next?
Me, right?
You have the floor.
This next set isn't necessarily a group because it includes 3 individuals who didn't debut with anybody else at the same time. First is someone who makes a debut quite early, and her name is Erica. She is a photographer who was invited to Vera's house during the family reunion because Vera requested family photos. While that may appear to be her only time in the scenes, she does come back to work for Theta's Academy. The next individual is Kata, who was a pediatric nurse Tana and Annalise went to see one day. Although Annalise just seemed sick with something not so serious, the 6 goddesses informed us that she should seek medical aid immediately before it became extremely serious. She was ill with a rare illness that could be fatal if not treated in time, but the rest of us helped her create the cure to restore her health to normal. At first, Kata issued Annalise with medicines with different fruity flavors, but the real cure required the unity of godly power, and we did have 6 goddesses to help with that. The third individual, well, is an astronomer. We met him with an intent to my comet observatory to a distant galaxy called the Luma Rosalis galaxy for a trial. This was also when I found my Luma companion. This is Oliver, who was abducted to this galaxy by a curse, but we were able to assist him in time since the goddesses gave us the ability to breathe in space. In return, he helped us during the trial and basically told us that he is from Alasvio. He told us about the tradition they had before Nightmare Mario and Twilight Peach stopped it. Those are the only individuals who are not in any notable groups, and the other exceptions are the people from Daranaka, who actually debuted in Chapter 1. And so Annalise will explain why she saved them for later.
Thank you, Rosalina. Now I'll pass the floor to Cornen for the next group.
The next group includes people from Gelato, and this is a smaller group because the only notable ones are 2 individuals who are brother and sister, and their names are Liam and Leah. They both have their own business where Leah makes sunblock and Liam sells them, and let me tell you, Leah is so good at her job. And Liam too. We were called to Gelato on an intensely hot day, and Liam offered his sister's products for us to use, but they didn't last for long because he tried to make them himself with little to no experience. That's because Leah was kidnapped by Bowser, and that was the Nintendo's first battle against him. So when we rescued her, she and Liam could get their business back up and running. Also, no, that was not our only battle against Bowser. We fought against him a few times.
Yeah, that trial at the Athene temple was the second time.
But yeah, he was like the king of the Koopas against a bunch of children. That's crazy.
We're not... Age doesn't matter here.
Jociphena.
Why me?
Okay, y'all. Let's move on now.
I'll go up.
Okay, the floor is yours, Azalea.
The next entries are some neighbors who live in our village who have never attended Daranaka Academy. The crazy thing, though, is that they moved to Lydia Cresty later, but they were in Thedos for Jociphena's 7th birthday. So, those stories about the conversations among me, Peach, and Jociphena's party guests. These are the party guests. There are 3 families I want to bring up here. First are the twins Larissa and Carmen, who showed up by themselves and are the oldest out of all the guests. Well, they are older than all the children who showed up. The second family who showed up includes 4 people and 2 cousins. The parents of this family are Emma and John, and their youngest is Eleni, who was not a year old yet when Jociphena invited her sister to the party, and let's just say she's a handful. Emma and John dropped her off because they had to take care of Eleni at home, and her cousins Warren and Casis happened to tag along. And the girl's name? Well, it's Natalie. She was supposed to be one of Jociphena's closest friends, but my gosh, she is so darn spoiled. She kept telling Jociphena that she couldn't be a fighter because not only had she just turned 7, but also because she is female. This girl thinks that fighting is for boys and disapproves of those who think otherwise. But yeah, Natalie got redemption when Jociphena stood up for herself and rescued her in battle, and it took her a while to consider supporting the Nintendo's cause by taking action herself. Heck, literally everybody else developed an interest in doing so during the party. So the third family is more laid back, and that is this girl Magdalene and her parents Joanne and Polis. Magdalene is so much easier to get along with and actually developed some interest in battle before the party. She has the same interests as Jociphena and... Oh, is Jociphena the next spokesperson? Yeah, you said you wanted to go over this group since I signed up to talk about the most notable pets in Mario Legends. This includes cats, dogs, and even a horse. Let's talk about all of the cats first. The first 2 are my family's house cats, Kikordi and Cortana. Kikordi is a gray short-haired tabby, and Cortana is an orange fluffy tabby. Cortana had a litter of kittens that just sort of wander around the village and visit different people's houses, but they mostly come to our house because Cortana is there. Their names are Gracilia, Spatindra, Mortabines, and Valencio. They wander the village with 4 more kittens who are not a part of the same litter, and their names are Fluffera, Snowfair, Scrotorus, and Conadori. They usually stop by Anilamis' and Aaron's house a lot, but they come to our house too. Then I want to mention 3 dogs. And the funny thing about this is that all of their names start with the letter C. First is Castorus, who is Nana and Papa's dog. He goes to the Athene temple with them a lot and will not hold back on anyone who insults them. Yeah, he's definitely a fighter. Then we have Cooks and Calibra, who are both Natalie's dogs. They're much younger than Castorus and our 2 cats Kikordi and Cortana though. One time Peach and Daisy went out looking for them before a blizzard, not knowing they already had owners. But then there is this horse, who is now Annalise's steed. We all met him during our first trip to Camp Alfino, and when we went again a year later, he wanted to go home with Annalise. His name is Phlox. I'm just kinda jealous he trusted her before me.
Shut up!
I was kidding!
Yeah, sure you were. Off topic, are y'all having fun? I'm having fun. Who's next? Daisy?
Okay, as mentioned earlier, Phinleya's capital, Moril, has a museum called the Museum of Ancient Phinleya. This museum not only shows a lot about Phinleya's history, but it also includes several different cultures from all around the world, one of which
obviously being Egypt. James and JD run the place, and their relation to each other are boyfriend and girlfriend. What's more interesting about the place, however, is that right next to the Ayohan exhibit is a glass cube stealing away an ancient being that caused real-life glitches named Oiram. Things were fine until a certain somebody broke the glass open, and so this guy sealed us into the past.
Okay.
So then we ended up in ancient Ayoha and met their pharaoh Phantomini, Phanto for short, and her serpent assistant Vipe. Ayoha has a portal in the center, and my deity attack opened it up so that we could return to the present. And Phanto came with us, and we didn't know until later. That only meant that we did see her again, and she doesn't really have a good track record pertaining to, getting along. Mainly because she wanted me to send her back to her time, but I couldn't. So now she lives in our time and doesn't really care anymore.
Okay, now I'm looking at my notes, and we've got some more pretty big groups coming up and a few smaller ones. Who's next up for the spotlight?
Me!
Alright, Cassiala?
Hey everybody! I'm about to reveal a massive group of people called Team Glitch and their rival team who ended up joining forces after we fought them in a battle at Camp Alfino. This was also when we met Wario and Waluigi. So first I'll go over the original Team Glitch before both groups combined. Their leader is Locaus, and his close friends Falaretto and Zendeo assist him and the team as they partake in sporting events. August and Sermano are also there to support the team, but there are 6 individuals who bear a different part of the Triforce each.
6 is the power number here.
Those individuals in Triforce order are Psychedia, who isn't afraid to defend herself even if it isn't entirely personal, Fisherin, who is the youngest member of the team, Minatea, who is an inkling who escaped an attack on her homeland when she was a child, Hilary, who is perhaps the closest to Locaus and the friendliest to the Ninten, Barbero, who is a member of the Gelatans tribe from Helena that was mentioned earlier, and Tamra, who is the best at all the games the team has to offer. So that's the original Team Glitch, but now let's reveal their rivals before they joined forces. The leader is Gemeus, who also leads 6 individuals who complement the same elements as those 6 individuals from Team Glitch. I will also say their names in Triforce order. Wildro, who has actually taken a liking to Psychedia, Jubarin, who is Fisherin's younger brother, Melanaris, who is later friends with Minatea and is a sword fighter like Hilary, and Jennifer, who apparently has always had beef with Hilary despite ending up on the same side, Rebecca, who worked in the cornfields of Barracus, and Bellatrix, who is also an advanced gamer like Tamra. Like August and Sermano, Armadillo is there as a supporter of their rivals. And by the way, they all live in Fiarlo now, which might seem crazy because of the haunted house, but they didn't even bring it up when we met them for the first time.
I wanted to leave a comment on that, but I'd rather not.
Why? What's wrong?
Nothing. I just got a bone to pick with where I got... Okay, fine. Next is Peach, right?
I find it funny how you said that there would be a lot of larger groups because the next 3 only have 2 original characters respectively.
No, I was talking about after that. Whatever, just go ahead and go.
I obviously picked this slot because it has to do with the Mushroom Kingdom. Of course, it is filled with toads, including Toad, Toadette, and Toadsworth, but the 2 most notable original characters here are my mom and my grandmother. We revealed Mario and Luigi's parents, why not reveal mine? Well, let me just say that they are something. Especially my mom. One time the Ninten went back to the Mushroom Kingdom to get some insight on the current state of Bowser's army, and they ended up showing up to fight against us anyway. My grandmother, Didi, was more relaxed and was more willing to help out, but my mother, Mashraya, the queen of the Mushroom Kingdom, freaked out about it. Like, she literally bolted all around the castle halls, yelling and screaming at the kingdom's army to take action. She went absolutely bananas. She's crazier than Tana, so to speak.
Okay, who said I was crazy?
Don't worry about it, Tana.
What's crazier is that my mom also freaked out when I left the Mushroom Kingdom for a year to fight alongside the Ninten, and she yelled at me after I got back.
I'm sorry, is she the one who raised you?
No, Gidi was. Now, Gidi may be her name, but that's also what I refer to her as. Like, Annalise and her siblings refer to Vera as Nana and Jago as Papa. Or I could also say GT because that's what it sounds like. Anyway, next.
It's Anilamis, right? Yes. Yes, the group I signed up for also has only 2 people in it. So, about the cruises on Lake Islenna. We actually did go there during our adventures because Tana desperately wanted to see Jonas since his family was there. Nobody else was on par with it since we had been out to sea for about 2 months prior, but we went anyway. People from both Pinna and Brooks were on that boat, meaning that there were some Inklings and Octolings on board. 2 of those Inklings, both being acquaintances to each other, are Beverly and Jameson. They actually helped us because, yet again, Bowser's troops invaded and attempted to sink the boat. We got it to shore in time because Beverly and Jameson pulled it to shore while in squid form, and the 6 goddesses of the Triforce pushed it from the back. When we got back to shore and defeated the boss, Tana volunteered to pay for the boat's repairs. She used the coins she was originally gonna use to pay off another semester at Daranaka Academy for her 4 children before changing her mind. And let me tell you, it's so darn expensive. You can literally get into any other academy in Phinleya for free. And so Beverly and Jameson both started attending Thedos Academy after that. If only more schools worldwide were that easy. Heck, Thedos Academy will even pay you to be there if you are a member of an association that supports the Ninten. We'll get more into that after this next group. Right. Okay, Aaron?
Alright, so this will be the last group of 2, and all of the groups after this are fairly large, but we are almost done. I'm pretty sure the Salori Pirates were brought up before my section, which is just a huge family with 2 siblings who are the most notable, that being Cassie and her older brother Ulysses. These 2 often have beef over what they believe in. Ulysses is said to go around studying different cultures and doubting them despite what he finds. And Cassie is more devout since she is a recent graduate from Thedos Academy. In that sense, she and Shadow knew each other because he teaches there, as she was one of his students.
Yep, I remember that.
These 2 helped us since, once again, we were sent to Ayoha, not because of Enaro this time, but in present time.
Come on!
Dude, I just said it wasn't you this time.
Okay.
Anyway, so this was because the people at Daranaka sent us there, and Phantomini was there and wouldn't allow us to leave until Daisy opened the portal to send her back to her time, but she was unable to. So we had to escape on our own, but were wrecked at sea, and the Salori Pirates came to rescue us. They are really good people, aside from Ulysses being blasphemous, but Cassie is definitely the best one.
2 can play in that game. Alright, now we are going to discuss my least favorite part of Phinleya, and I'm gonna pass it off to Kenza to reveal the OCs. Why? Because you don't want to do it yourself? No, it's because you haven't had a turn yet. Okay, to be fair, I did sign up for this slot. So before I do reveal those OCs, I want to mention what makes Daranaka Academy different from all other academies. First of all, it's more of a private academy while all others interact with each other quite a lot. And it doesn't have a city to represent it, so it is just located in Thedos. It's pretty inconvenient to live in the village closest to it. By the way, Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, Rosalina, and I moved to the village where the Ninten lived during our adventures because traveling overseas every month would have been a disaster. The main difference between Daranaka and all other academies is that the people there enforce the dumbest rules based on the religion they follow. Since no other places in Phinleya, or anywhere else worldwide, follows this, it is said that Daranaka is supposed to be the most sacred place in the world. However, not too long into Mario Legends, you all realize that this religion is so obviously a false one. One of the biggest points in this belief system is that nature is out to get everyone, and it should be eliminated. I can see where they may think that, you know, incidents such as natural disasters, poisonous plants, and wildlife injuries, but still! They also believe that people who oppose them are allies of nature and should be executed. Yeah, these are some very dangerous people to be around. Then there are these more generic rules that are much less harmless, but still ridiculous. For example, we have the school's dress code, where the only colors you can wear are white, black, gray, maroon, navy blue, and khaki. They literally ban every other color. This dress code also states that men cannot wear shorts, and women can only wear skirts. But they are allowed to wear sweaters in case it gets cold, so that's nice. There's also this saying that the older, more experienced members of the academy should have authority over the newcomers, which is so rude. Why can't we all be friends? The last ridiculous thing I want to mention is weaponry. People are prohibited from using any weapon besides muskets. These were made to ensure that nature cannot survive a hit from these weapons, but realistically, when they fire at people, it barely hurts. Wow, great thinking, you guys. Alright, enough of that. Now let's go over the most notable characters in this school, and I want to begin with the students. Students are divided into different grade levels in every school in Phinleya, and each one has its own Phinleyan word. First off, there's Precoola and Prettycoola, which stand for preschool and kindergarten. Then we get to grade school, and there are 12 total. We have Premeta for first grade, Demeta for second grade, Tremeta for third, Quameta for fourth, Sineta for fifth, Seseta for sixth, Seteta for seventh, Oxeta for eighth, Nineta for ninth, Deceta for 10th, Predicata for 11th, and Didicata for 12th. These were derived from the Phinleyan words for the numbers 1 through 12. Prim, Di, Tri, Qua, Sin, Ses, Seti, Oxa, Ni, Daka, Prita, and Dita. Congratulations, you just learned your first Phinleyan lesson. On that note, the only characters to be shown often in Mario Legends, on terms of the very beginning, are from the grade levels Sineta, Seteta, Oxeta, Nineta, and Deceta. Annalise was in Seteta at the start of Mario Legends, and Milenon was in Sineta. Enaro and Jociphena were in younger classes, but none of us really got to know anyone in those classes. Let's start with Sineta and go from the youngest to oldest here. And yes, I am going to speed through this, so if you need to pause, I'll go at a speed decent enough for you to do so. These are all of Milenon's classmates at Daranaka Academy. Mandalia, Marty, Chrissy, Serena, Luxus, Garen, Tias, Taya, Emmy, Carolee, Liella, Calicity, Ramus, and Saraya. Most, if not all, classes have about the same number of students in them. Yeah, it's not as big compared to all other academies in Phinleya. Those academies, especially Thedos Academy, offer way more class options and hold up to 3,000 students at the maximum. No, not 3,000 per grade level, 3,000 per academy. Man, if it were the other way around, then Phinleya would have more people than land. So that leads us to Seteta, who are all of Annalise's classmates aside from Azalea, Cornen, Anilamis, Cassiala, Aaron, and Nuta. There were instances where grade levels between Seteta and Didicata would combine, meaning that students from Oxeta would sometimes be included with Seteta, and that is why a lot of them will be on this list. Seteta includes Carlito, Dainellis, Onateno, Eso, Yahim, Yebieta, Cagliari, Vernia, Bado, Merity, Vessalini, Lexus, and Ella. Oxeta includes Angora, Gian, Leanne, Kina, Nadan, Devedos, Ando, Lendo, Hale, Lorenza, Veldis, Corel, Janet, and Eunice. Then there are 4 from Nineta and Deceta who are the most worthy of note. Nineta includes Elias, Lysissa, Mikal, and Keo, and Deceta includes Caius, Machias, Tyson, and Ariel. A lot of these people are related to each other, the most surprising being that Angora and Luxus are Azalea's siblings. All the other relations are Daenerys and Onatano, Bernia and Merity, Lexus and Ella, Nadan and Devados, Carlito and Veldis, Yebayeta and Eunice, Tias and Taya, Marty and Lysissa, and Gian and Machias. There is one more, but I will have to mention it when I reveal 3 more students who are also at Annalise's grade level, but I'm counting them separately for a very good reason. But first, I want to mention the professors. There are 12 total, some of which interfere with preschool and kindergarten. There are 2 groups of 6, one group in the lower level and the other in the higher level. I will say their names in the order of grade level with a few exceptions, while the second half major in one subject as students change classes, so they are essentially their homeroom professors. The first half, grades 1 through 6, are Garota, Nialis, Olive, Sherry, Pulo, and Anne. As I mentioned the second half, grades 7 through 12, I will also mention the subject they major in. Leon is the mathematics professor, Jim is the history professor, Elijah is the science professor, Ziny is the recreation coach, Plaza is the band director, and Meg is the literature professor. Now, you may already be thinking about the crazy things already mentioned about these people and how they think. However, by the end of Mario Legends, they all end up at Thedos Academy, both as students and professors. And how does that happen? Well, I'm just gonna pass it off to Annalise to finish this section. Oh, really? Okay then. There is one last thing I wanted to mention about the belief system of this academy. It has a name and a sacred textbook. The term for those with this belief is Darangan. The H is silent because in Phinleyan, an H is silent if it is between 2 vowels. And the textbook is called the Dirianus. Why does it have this name? Well, it teaches that there is one goddess who primarily lives in Phinleya, unseen by the human eye. But in actuality, she was the source of an evil power that revived a vessel that was sealed away on campus, and her name is Darinka. And yes, of course, it has already been proven that she is not a real goddess because the Ninten literally meets 6 real ones in person. Her greatest servants include the 2 leaders of both the academy and the temple, Andono and Braun. These guys are quick to assume that newcomers show up to do what they call surrendering to Darinka, and they are not allowed to say her name unless she's fine with it, according to them, when in actuality, they're binding them to their rules and injecting them with a sacred serum. But if the newcomers respond otherwise, they genuinely get upset. This happened during my first meeting with Andono in Chapter 1. When I told him that I had no knowledge about Darinka, he yelled at me. I guess he's just bummed when people take a while to make that kind of decision. Like Kenza said, there are 3 more students who were in my class, and she counted them separately because they are the worst people in the entire school. First there's Multus, and the relation Kenza mentioned is that he is related to Elias. Then there's Zan, and then their leader is Brocus, who is a jerk. These 3 guys came off as nice to me at first and then immediately started being incredibly rude. But these were the people who made an attempt to make Darinka visible by using an evil source that was originally kept by Bowser, and when she rose from her seal, she was colorless. The moment she was risen, she used her power to destroy the natural environment near Daranaka, but that's all that was affected before she was put back in her place. I won't go too far into this as it has big spoilers, so all I'm gonna say is that the Ninten does fight against her. But anyway, that's it. Oh, frick.
You said you would be revealing more fire giants, though I couldn't care less about some of them.
Then why are you mad?
Because you forgot to give me a turn.
No I didn't.
Then give me a turn to talk to the people.
I'm leaving.
Why is she doing that?
I'll go and get her. You have the floor.
Fine, I'll start without her.
Can I go too?
Yeah, I guess.
And me too?
Yeah, I want some spotlight too.
Can I say something?
Let me join.
Yeah, I guess it would make sense for the entire Fear resistance to be here. As mentioned earlier, the Blood Moon is the home of the fire giants and has a total of 52 regions. ours is Fearview.
So, how are we giants supposed to travel to and from Earth? Well, that's simple. We all have the ability to warp by the power of flames. When giants warp, they disappear into fire and move through air in the shape of fire before crashing down on our desired landing spot, which is where we assume our true forms again. The blood moon is only visible from Earth when giants are traveling to or from there.
The blood moon is the only elemental moon to interact with Earth. We descended from great protectors of humankind, and then war happened. We lost everything. Our kingdom collapsed, our sources of nutrition were destroyed, except the milk which can still be made at our farms. But then those same ancestors, those who survived the battle, resorted to preying on the humans we once protected, and it has been that way for 500 years.
We, however, are an exception. Since we all were created from the images of humans you may know, our intentions were actually the same as theirs and not the giants. We wanted to find a way to live at peace again without the need to harm humanity. That isn't always easy, though, considering that everything we lost cannot be brought back. It's an unfortunate reality if you ask me. Not only do we have to suffer through this famine, but we are also stuck under our own government's control and are constantly being discriminated against for standing out.
Well, not only do those giants treat us with disrespect, but they also do the same toward each other. Over the years, their egos have become so large that they only care about themselves and their own status. This is also because the giants are so much bigger than humans, and so they see themselves as more superior. It makes sense in some way. They used to be more compassionate back then, or so I've heard. We're the only ones like that now.
And so, Nightmare Mario established the Fearview Resistance, which only includes the 6 of us. We often left Fearview to go to another region just to train for battle, an abandoned region at that. Therefore, the original characters who we signed up to reveal are probably the meanest giants of our current generation, but with a few exceptions. There are 7 we should probably mention because they all appear in Mario Legends. But who wants to go first? You know, since we all signed up to do this.
I'll start. One of these is another doppelganger who was created before us. A doppelganger of Princess Zelda who was created in the Kingdom of Rathos. She moved to Fearview on request and served the court, even partaking in magic that was used against giants, including the harnessed curses. There are 3, the Dream Curse, the Color Curse, and the Decay Curse. This giantess, whose name is Stardust Zelda, was given the responsibility to cast them upon the 6 of us. First was the Dream Curse, which puts victims to sleep. Nightmare Mario broke this spell by defeating Stardust Zelda and breaking her wand. Second is the Color Curse, which was sealed in a box that Stardust Zelda brought out to lure us, and Midnight Luigi opened it, causing the curse to possess him.
Hey!
It took Nightmare Mario's strength and willpower and Midnight Luigi's courage to destroy this curse. The last curse, the Decay Curse, was given to Stardust Zelda to cast upon Nightmare Mario, a curse that would put victims to sleep as they slowly wither away, and it can only be cured by a drink of restoration. This was when she realized that she was being deceived and refused to cast the spell. She then joined our side, but adjusting to it took a lot of work.
The same goes for another giantess who is not a doppelganger but was born in the kingdom of Dreshal, which is highly known for its magic. Her name is Ivy, and she also moved to Fearview and served in the court before, along with Stardust Zelda, joining our cause. These 2 still attended meetings and secretly gave the information to us. Ivy, though, went to a magic school in Dreshal and became a very talented mage and potion brewer. She had a whole laboratory to herself before she moved back home and gave it to us. She did have an incident when she got her first wand. Oh, how does that work then? There are many different types of wands, all being sold at the bazaar in Integra, and there are 3 main parts: the material, the tip, and the enchantment. The material is determined by the user's personality, the enchantment is determined by the user's heart, and the tip is determined by the user's primary element of the Triforce, or light or darkness. Pretty much everyone's wands have dark tips, but the Fearview Resistance was more lucky. Mine is orange because of loyalty, Twilight Peach's is pink, Sunset Daisy's is yellow, Rosaluna's is blue, and neither Nightmare Mario nor Midnight Luigi were interested in getting one. Ivy's first attempt was a tip of wisdom, which blew up in her face, and so she received a dark tip instead. During times of change, though, that wand stopped working, and when she got a new one, it was tipped with wisdom. The material, enchantment, and tip all have different names, all of which are difficult to pronounce except the tips. Here is the full list Rosaluna received when she got her wand. Fire Giant mages don't have to worry about figuring out the right wand themselves, for there are professionals who know easy techniques to determine it for them. I'm sure Ivy will be one of them someday. Oh, and Rosaluna too.
Oh, Moonlight.
The last fire giant to join our side was yet another doppelganger who was created differently from the rest. Bowser kidnapped our doppelgangers in order for us to be created, but to create this giantess, Islenna, he used Annalise's energy. This made her more aggressive and much harder to recruit. And so, she didn't join us until near the last battle with Bowser, as Islenna was supplied with weapons from the bazaar, which were lesser than the ones we got, especially since our Kree rulers took her there. Supposedly, Bowser managed to pull this off whenever the Ninten encountered him at Gelato Beach, and he never told anyone about this. This only meant that Annalise's first encounter with Islenna was a surprising one. I mean, the look on her face. Now, on the topic of fire giant egos, that also goes for doppelgangers. They often appear to be more serious than their human twins and much more egotistic, sometimes. Islenna is no exception here.
I would know that very well by now.
And I know this wasn't mentioned yet, but I'm pretty sure it should be a bit obvious how Stardust, Zelda's, and Islenna's voices will sound. Lower pitches of the voices of Zelda and Annalise, just like the rest of us.
Can I try it?
Okay.
My name is Islenna, and I fight for the Firaviran Resistance.
Not that.
I'll go next. And I think I'll reveal two in one go. After Bowser created Azalea and was pleased by how she turned out at first, he realized that using energy rather than the vessels themselves would yield a more wicked result. So he created giants using the energy of Locaus and Gelatans from Team Glitch, and lent them some evil power he concealed. I guess he ran out of ideas for the names, and so their names turned out to be Knight Locaus and Knight Gelatans. These two are the biggest jerks on the Blood Moon. Not only have they stayed wicked, but they are also so mean to Nightmare Mario specifically, claiming that Knight Gelatans will be the Blood Moon's emperor and that Knight Locaus will be the king of the Blood Moon, not just Firavir. What makes them think that they can achieve such a goal? They don't keep their evil power forever, I'll tell you that much. Oddly enough, they were both created right before the Nintendo even met Team Glitch. It makes you wonder why Bowser chose to use energy to create giants from Locaus and Gelatans respectively. What I find to be the strangest is that Bowser copied people to create fire giants, the same species that the Koopas defeated in war 500 years prior. This was his way of manipulating us, turning us against humankind for his own benefits. And yet, he failed to do so upon the creation of the Firaviran Resistance.
So, does that mean you all were created unnaturally?
That depends on interpretation. You see, our ancestors, they blessed the greatest of heroes back then with another chance. The same goes for the ancestors of Phinleya. They prayed for a sign of hope, and they got it in 1517, when both heroic teams were established, the Nintendo and the Firaviran Resistance.
I see. So this was done supernaturally.
Exactly, but the Koopas tried to corrupt that, but they're bad at it.
Now that's just kind of funny.
Be that as it may, those who weren't created are bad nonetheless. Two of the more obvious examples are the Queen and Prince of Firavir. Well, actually, the prince moved to Firavir from Isharian. So many giants moved to our kingdom because of the queen, who is the only non-immigrant we know of. I wanted to mention the prince due to some more personal business. Let's just say we have never gotten along despite being the prince and princess. Heck, Even we have no relation to each other since we aren't actually from the same region. The most ridiculous part is that the kingdom of Asharian is known for the nobility of its residents. The prince, Tefron, is a terrible example of that. One day, when Nightmare Mario returned from battle and I offered to heal his wounds, Tefron dragged me away from him. And that's not even it. The same giants who don't even treat me like a real princess joined forces with the same evil power the Daringan sought after. And if it was let loose with no control, whether to Daringa or Bowser, the destruction would have been nothing like we have ever seen before. Thanks to all of the heroes, though, it was all contained and sealed away, never to be seen again. Oh, why am I mentioning 2? Let's just say that, even if the timelines of Mario Legends and Nightmare Mario overlap, they are slightly altered. It's nearly unnoticeable, besides the fact that when the Nintendo and the Firaviran Resistance meet in battle, the favor depends on the production. Every battle in Mario Legends ends in the Nintendo's favor, while every battle in Nightmare Mario ends in our favor. The outcomes afterwards don't change since neither side really intends the opposite thing. Both stand for justice without knowing until later. Of course, if the battle isn't against each other, the favor goes to both teams no matter what. Does that make sense?
Now, that leaves the last original character of today's reveal, the Queen of Firaviran, also known to be the worst of all fire giants of our time. Her name is Oricoria. She is the most serious about hunting humans, since the taste and nutrition they possess satisfy giants more than anything, especially during times of famine where there is nothing else. Even if we do have milk left, which appeases hunger for a long time, nobody cares about that. It has become so much of a problem that hunting humans became the fire giant's #1 priority, endangering them each time. What's worse is that Oricoria became so desperate to have the Nintendo that she claims the evil power herself to cause chaos all over the Blood Moon. Look, I know I said I would only eat Mario to increase my own power to get revenge on Bowser myself, but this wicked queen took this way too far. My intentions are to restore the Blood Moon to its former order, but everyone else follows Oricoria's ways and disrespects mine, and what she believes will make it better is only making it worse. If only I had told the Nintendo the truth way sooner, negotiating with Mario would have been easier and avoiding battles against him would have made everything less stressful.
I also take the blame for freaking out so much.
But even if Bowser is defeated, or perhaps Oricoria too, there's nothing we can do to fix everything. The only thing that can really restore the Blood Moon is a miracle. Or...
Why don't we save that for OC Reveal 5?
Alright.
Now, before we close for today, I want to say a few quick things. First of all, I pulled an OC Reveal 3 and did 2 original songs again because I had 2 in mind. The first one is, you guessed it, Midnight Luigi's theme. I already posted my own theme and Nightmare Mario's theme, and since I did that song and it did really well, I feel like Midnight Luigi deserves just as much spotlight.
Aww.
Now, you all won't have to wait on this one since you all voted that I should release it early.
It was one vote.
Shh.
It was...
Shh. We don't say that around here.
Are you trying to start something?
No, no, no.
Good, because if you were...
Okay, FYI, don't screw with the fire giant.
Annalise.
Oh, crap. The other one is an arrangement I originally thought I didn't even need MuseScore for. It's all a cappella, but plans fell through for time's sake, and I'll have to save the vocals for later. This style of music is included in Mario Legends because, as I've said previously, it takes place in the early 1500s, which in real time is between the medieval and Renaissance periods of music, both including chorus music. This is called the Ancient Hymn, sung by both Daringans and Athene Temple members, both versions being slightly different as regards to lyrics, so both versions will be in this arrangement. And fun fact, it's all in Phinleyan, but don't worry, there will be English lyrics in the description under that video. Another thing I want to mention is that both the Mario Legends trailer and Chapter 1 will drop soon after this video. When all 25 chapters are released, I will then post a full version, all chapters in one video, on a second channel, which is where the OST will also be found, but I will create playlists on this channel and update you guys when new songs drop. My goal is to release every chapter before the end of 2025 so that Kid Icarus Dark Pit story will release in 2026, if not earlier. There will be more info on that in OC Reveal 6, since OC Reveal 5 will discuss the full cast for Mario Legends 2, which means Naria will be joining us next time and hopefully Link, Zelda, and Yoshi too. Okay, what's next? Oh, right, the hints. Yeah, most of these were pretty self-explanatory, such as the 6 goddesses, the temple, the museum, the camp, the party guests, the Splatoon crossover, the family members, the pets, the fire giants, and Daranaka. One of the hints was a bit more complex due to Team Glitch coming from an idea I had a while back, but then I completely changed everyone due to something really bad that happened 2 years ago. Only 2 of the characters' names stayed the same, and in case you're wondering who those were, it was Hillary and Jennifer. So, I guess that's it today, and stay tuned for the Mario Legends trailer and Chapter 1! We'll see you all soon!